just a taped one. We have a pregame ceremony, and we're also going to have to step away in just a moment because we've been asked to say play ball, a high honor that we were happy to accept. This ceremony that we will pause for is for Andrew Kalika, the batting champion of the Cape Cod Baseball League this season.
Was the first batter to hit over 400 in 30 years. Quite an accomplishment, and he actually has the highest batting average in the Cape League since 1982, and that was with aluminum bats. So quite an accomplishment for this young man. So I'd like to present this award to Andrew Kalika. Come on up, Andrew.
Warren. Still in it.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Very nice honor for Andrew Kalika. And we are now going to step off again in preparation of saying play ball, but hopefully you can hear that as well. We'll be back in a moment.
On the top recorder.
Here tonight to say those two famous words we've all been waiting to hear are our Gatemen broadcast team, Eric Kramer, Jake Garcia, and on-field reporter Megan O'Brien.
Play ball!
The back kids for tonight's game are Billy Clark and Ben DiFilippo. Umpires for tonight's game.
Hopefully you all heard that and got a kick out of it. We're trying to resolve our video issues. I am aware that right now it's just a still screen. We, in full disclosure, had quite a lot to deal with this morning. An overnight storm brought a lightning strike to Spillane Field and knocked out some of our equipment. So trying to resolve that as best we can. We do have audio, so we'll just call this as if it's an audio broadcast until we get our video up and running. As the Gatemen take the field, we will give you the defensive alignment behind Brett Hanowich. Left to right across the outfield, Charlie Warren, Andrew Kalika, and Connor Beck. In the infield at third base, Andrew Kisner. At short, Mark Karaviotis. At second, Kramer Robertson. At first, David McKinnon. And catching Hanowich behind the plate is Gavin Stupinski.
Just as was the case with last night, a four-man umpiring crew that's particular and specific of the Cape League playoffs. We only had three in the regular season. Joe Peters behind home plate, Jeff Marzella at first, Mike Griffin and Mark Delaney are the other two.
The batting order for the visiting Bourne Braves, if they win today, they move on to round two to play either the Cotuit Kettleers or the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, but at this point it looks like it's very likely it would be the Harbor Hawks. Harbor Hawks out to a one-game lead and leading late in Game 2 by a wide margin. Leading off playing right field, Nick Solak. Batting second, playing center, Jacob Robson. Batting third and playing first, Brendan McKay. Cleanup hitter and designated hitter, Peter Alonzo. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, C.J. Chatham. Sixth hitter, left fielder, Corey Julks. Batting seventh and catching, Jason DeLay. Batting eighth and playing second base, Mike Garzillo. And rounding out the order, batting ninth and playing third base, Camden Duznak.
Some notable absences from this Bourne Braves lineup tonight. Reed Humphreys, the most notable absence. He's been scorching hot as of late, a 5-game hitting streak, and multi-hits in 6 of his last 8 games. He had 3 RBIs yesterday against New Jersey. Here tonight in Game 2, not in the starting lineup.
Andrew Kisner, tonight's third baseman for the Gatemen. Starts out playing even with the bag, and now he's going to creep in a couple more steps. Hanowich from the windup delivers a breaking pitch high, ball one, and we're off. First pitch at 7:02. First pitch temperature in the high 70s, but it figures to drop as the sun goes down. 1-0, a called strike at the knees to even up the count. Gatemen wearing their home white uniforms. 1-1 fouled off, 1-2. Gatemen written in block script across the front of the chest. White jersey, white pants. About half the team wears their socks up. Red and navy stirrups. 1-2 again fouled at the plate. And Solak staying alive. The Gatemen home cap is a navy crown with a red bill. On the road, they wear an all-navy cap with the Wareham W. Bourne Braves wearing their typical road uniforms, gray pants and a navy top. White racing stripes under the armpits and red accent colors on the shoulders. Another 1-2 from Hanowich inside, and it hits Solak. Looks like it got him in or around the elbow area. And he'll trot down to first. Apparently no worse for the wear. First base runner of the game comes in the form of a hit by pitch.
So far this season, in the regular season for the Gatemen, Hanowich has been pretty wild. He checks in with a 1-2 win-loss record, a 5.16 ERA. But what really sticks out, 16 walks and 22 2/3 innings of work. That means he allows base runners frequently, and so far has not excelled at run prevention either. Tonight against a very potent Bourne Braves lineup, he'll have to reverse those trends.
Nick Solak at first, 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts. Hanowich, aware of that, throws over to first. Solak back with a dive. We should also remind our listeners, and perhaps viewers, that Gavin Stupensky behind the plate. Andrew Kisner, who had 3 passed balls last night, is now playing third base. Ball 1 misses high to Robson. Kisner right now is playing in on the grass, expecting a bunt, or anticipating a bunt, from Robson.
Interesting to see Kisner at third base. When we first received the lineup, that's exactly where he was penciled in as, but during in and outs, he was taking reps over at first, with Sternagel taking reps at third.
1-0 misses up and away, and now Robson in a definite hitter's count. The dangerous Brendan McKay waits on deck. Hanowich from the set delivers the 2-0. Hit on the ground to short. Taylor made double play ball. On to second for 1 to first. Not in time. The speedy Robson beats it out, and it will be a fielder's choice. A hard hit ground ball right to the shortstop Karaviotis, but that's the speed of Jacob Robson beating that one out.
The first baseman, number 18, Brendan McKay from Louisville.
So Solak forced. Robson takes his place at first, and that'll bring up Brendan McKay. McKay on the year, batting .283 in limited action. He was with Team USA. 13 for 46, 3 extra base hits, all doubles, and 7 runs batted in. Hanowich checking Robson at first, and the ball trickles away from McKinnon, but Robson, who had gone into a dive, has no chance to advance to second. Robson has actually been caught stealing more times than he's stolen successfully. 4 for 9 on the season. First pitch to McKay, an off-speed pitch. Gets a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch in a good location, too, just off the outside corner. Robson takes his lead at first. Hanowich with nary a look towards him. He delivers the 0-1 to the plate. Roped into right field, down for a hit. Back the right fielder up with it quickly. He gets it in. Robson wants third. The throw misses the cutoff man and rolls on a couple hops to Kisner. First and third, runners at the corners after a one-out single by Brendan McKay.
An interesting decision there for the second baseman, Kramer Robertson, to opt to let that ball go through without the benefit of a cutoff. I'm not sure if Connor Beck intended on throwing all the way to third, or rather just hitting a cutoff man, but Robertson was in the area, and right at the last second, he vacated to cover second base. I'm not sure if he cuts that ball off, if he's able to gun down Robson, who was going from first to third, but just interesting that he let that ball go through.
Peter Alonso, the cleanup hitter and designated hitter, stepping in. .255 batting average, 25 hits, 3 of them for extra bases, and 13 runs batted in. He takes a called strike, 0-1. No score in the top of the first inning. Bourne Braves trying to win this game and move on, in the process eliminating the Wareham Gatemen from the Cape League playoffs. 0-1. Called strike on the inside corner. Alonso spit on it, but it's taken for a strike, and now Alonso quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
Alonso came into yesterday's game ice cold, but then he proceeded to go 2 for 3. So against these Wareham Gatemen in the playoffs, he's had success.
The 0-2 swung on and missed in the dirt, strike 3. The runner goes down to second. Stupinski fakes a throw. McKay will advance on the wild pitch, but Stupinski doing his job in keeping the pitch in front of him and preventing Robson from scoring. Now 2 down, and C.J. Chatham will step to the plate with first base open. Are you giving McKay a stolen base on that?
I am, just because I'm too lazy to process if it could be anything else.
Check swing on the first pitch. The appeal down to first. He did not go, says the first base umpire. And the count 1-0.
Do you think it's a wild pitch then?
I must admit I wasn't looking at the runner. I just saw motion. I don't know whether or not he was off with the pitch or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Wild pitch, says our official scorer. 1-0. Another check swing. This one not even close. Chatham held up. And the count 2-0. We will see how aggressive Hanowich is with first base open and 2 down. Corey Julks, the left fielder, is in the on-deck circle. 2-0. Just misses low at the shins, and now the count 3-0. I would be very surprised if Hanowich delivers a strike or anything close to it here. Julks is probably better than your average 6 hitter. He's usually hitting further up in the lineup for the Braves, but he struggled against the Gatemen. Roped to left field and deep. Warren back. He's turning around. This ball is gone. A 3-run home run for C.J. Chatham on a 3-0 pitch. And the Bourne Braves out to an early 3-0 lead.
That was about halfway up the left field bleachers. Hanowich hung a very fat offering on 3-0, not expecting Chatham to have the green light, and he certainly made him pay for it. Chatham has been red hot at the plate as of late, especially against the Gatemen, and extra base hits have definitely been the name of his game so far. Make that 11 of his total 22 hits this year going for extra bases. It's a big blow right there, and now Bourne out to a 3-0 lead.
And deflating for the Gatemen. First pitch, a called strike on the inside corner to Corey Julks. Julks on the year out of the University of Houston, batting .279. 3 home runs, 5 doubles, tapped foul, and now it's quickly 0-2. That was a pretty majestic home run, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it gave you a very good opportunity to get into your home run call a bit, put your back into it.
Strike 3 and a foul tip to Julks, and that'll do it for the Braves in their half of the first inning. But they score 3 runs on a 3-run home run by C.J. Chatham. The Gatemen in a 3-run hole before they even come to bat. Keep it locked into the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. The Wareham Gatemen trail the Bourne Braves 3-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning at Spillane Field. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. We will give you the starting lineup for the Wareham Gatemen and then the defensive alignment for the Braves. Leading off playing center field, Andrew Kalika. Batting second, playing second, Kramer Robertson. Batting third, the designated hitter, Nick Sierri. Cleanup hitter and first baseman, David McKinnon. Gavin Stupinski catching, batting fifth. Mark Karaviotis, the shortstop, batting sixth. Charlie Warren playing left, and the 7-hitter. 8-hitter is Andrew Kisner batting third, and rounding out the order batting ninth, playing right, Connor Beck. Andrew Kalika towing in against Keegan Aiken. First pitch fouled off left side. A loud thump outside the press box.
I was ready for it, though.
Aiken has this defense behind him. Julks, Robson, and Solak left right across the outfield. 0-1 taken low, now 1-1 to Kalika. Duznak at third, Chatham at short, Garzillo at second, McKay at first, and Jason DeLay behind the plate. Kalika in a pregame ceremony received the trophy for winning the batting title in the Cape League. 1-1 fouled off again left side, and it's 1-2. Kalika in the regular season was a .500 hitter against left-handed pitching.
21 for 42, so that's not a small sample either.
Rolled on the ground up the third base line, trickling foul off the glove of Duznak. And Kalika will head back to the box. Got about 85 feet to first base, and now he'll go -85 and take another hack.
Let's empty the book on Kalika. A batting average above 400. Last time that the Cape League batting title was given to a player hitting above 400 was in 1990. Happened to be a Wareham player, guy from USC. Kalika becoming the 7th Wareham hitter to take home the honor.
The 1-2 to Kalika, low and away in the dirt, now 2-2. We haven't seen Kalika draw many walks, but that's more because of his approach than any lack of discipline at the plate. So many times he swings at the first pitch and the at-bat is over before it even begins. Another 2-2, and it's fouled off left side. Kalika slapping his wrists and tightening his batting gloves. Probably more out of habit than any need to do so. Another 2-2 to Kalika. Again, fouled off left side.
A fantastic battle we have going on right now between Kalika and Keegan Aiken. Aiken came in with a curveball that time, and Kalika really sat on it, not fooled whatsoever.
Aiken's 2-2 to Kalika. Tapped on the ground, charging the shortstop is Chatham, and he bobbles it. No chance to get the speedy Kalika. It'll be an infield single, as it should be. Andrew Kalika with his first playoff hit, now with a batting average in the Cape League playoffs of 200.
Giving you a little bit more on the left-hander Keegan Aiken, stands 6'1", 205, will be a junior this upcoming college baseball season at Western Michigan University. So far in the Cape League, a 1-3 record, 2.70 ERA. This will be his 8th start of the year, first of the playoff variety.
Kramer Robertson stepping in the right-handed batter's box. Aiken from the stretch delivers a ball low, just below the knees. It's 1-0.
He is also absolutely a strikeout artist. 33 1/3 innings of work and 39 strikeouts. So this is definitely a top front end of the rotation type of guy. For many other teams, he'd be a team's ace.
Before the 1-0, Kalika checked it first. He's back with a dive. Robertson finished with a .310 batting average in the regular season. Only one extra base hit, but it came in the playoff clincher, the last game of the season. A big 2-run triple that extended the lead over the Kettleers. Ball outside, the back pick to first. Kalika's just barely back, getting that right hand in there. Good throw by DeLay behind the plate, and McKay in perfect position to receive the throw and slap the tag down with his left hand. Kalika, once again, with a pretty good lead. Aiken's 2-0, misses inside, almost clipped the jersey of Robertson, and now 3-0 with Nick Sierri on deck.
So will now Cooper Ferris give his two-hitter the green light with 3-0, like we saw in the top half of the first with C.J. Chatham.
3-0 is taken. Looked like Robertson had about a quarter swing there, but then thought better of it. So perhaps he did have the green light, just wasn't his pitch. Kalika takes his lead. Aiken throws over. Kalika back without a dive. Gatemen trail the Braves 3-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning. All 3 runs coming on a long home run by C.J. Chatham in the top half. Kalika takes off the 3-1, tapped on the ground left side. Back on it is Chatham. He has plenty of time to throw on to first for the out, but Kalika avoiding the double play by sending himself in motion. He now stands in scoring position for Sierri.
The designated hitter, number 30, Nick Sierri from Maryland.
Sierri, like the 2 batters in front of him in the order, finished the regular season with a batting average above 300, 319. Like Robertson, only 1 extra base hit. It was a double, but he did have an extra base hit last night. First pitch misses the outside corner, and I beg your pardon, a lake strike call. It's now 0-1.
these past two guys to the plate, Robertson and Sierra, both last night made critical outs on the base paths. Robertson was caught stealing in the 6th inning, and Sierra made an out at the plate, likely sent by his head coach, Cooper Ferris, but out by 3 or 4 steps. And the Gatemen last night, they needed a lot of base runners to come back, and unfortunately for them, outs on the base paths will not help that.
0-1 an off-speed pitch, a called strike, and now 0-2. Pitch is fouled straight back to the screen, and Sierra hangs tough.
It is encouraging, though, that the Gatemen have a base runner in scoring position now. Last night against Cody Sedlock, those were few and far between. Aside from their 1 run that they scored in the 4th inning, only 1 runner reached base, or rather reached second base against Sedlock.
The 0-2 to Sierra. Flipped foul left side. Pretty good crowd here. Bourne, the rival of closest proximity to Spillane Field in Wareham, so decent crowd coming over across the bridge. A couple dozen people in the left field bleachers. The 0-2 to Sierra. Half swing, he went around. Strike 3, and Sierra retired for out number 2.
The first baseman, number 10, David McKinnon.
With 2 down, that'll bring up David McKinnon, playing first base tonight. McKinnon almost got to that 300 threshold, finishing his average at 292. He had a searing hot start to his season, then cooled off a little bit, but then raised his batting average about 30 points in the last couple weeks of the season. He was an all-star, one of 7 selected from the Gatemen roster. Aiken's first pitch, a called strike at the knees, 0-1. Aiken checks Kalika at second, delivers the 0-1 to McKinnon, missing just low and inside to even up the count. Aiken's 1-1, slashed foul, right side, out of play. Kalika began this half of the inning with a single, an infield single off the glove of shortstop C.J. Chatham. He took off for second on Kramer Robertson's ground out to short, avoiding the double play, but now he's in danger of being stranded at second. Aiken's 1-2, hit on the ground, diving stop by Duznak, the long throw across the diamond, on target and in time. Camden Duznak was not in the lineup last night, but he's in tonight, and already reinforcing his sterling defensive reputation with an excellent play at the hot corner. We head to the top of the second, still 3-0. The Gatemen trail the Braves on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the top of the second inning. The Bourne Braves lead the Wareham Gatemen 3-0 at Spillane Field. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia and Megan O'Brien. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Braves against Brett Hanowich, who almost got out of that first inning, but then gave up a 3-run home run to C.J. Chatham to kind of blow things up.
Hello?
Hanowich's first pitch, a breaking ball, bends over for a strike. It's 0-1.
Okay. So just like exit out or stop the stream?
Count now 1-1 as we try and get things going here.
All right.
Chopped foul, third base side.
Okay. Do I?
Hanowich shakes off the catcher
Oh.
and delivers the 1-2. Broken bat rolled on the ground right side. McKinnon underhand flips to Hanowich, who's there to cover first. And out number 1 comes off the broken bat of Jason DeLay.
The second baseman, number 11, Mike Garzillo from Lehigh.
That'll bring up Mike Garzillo, playing second base tonight. Trying as best we can to keep things going here as we try and figure out our audio and video issues. Again, if you're hearing this, that's a good sign, but we had a lightning strike that kind of wiped out some of our equipment overnight.
And do us a favor and possibly hit refresh on your page. Our video feed may be up and running now.
Ooh, that's
fancy, huh?
I know. Wow. Good deal. Well, the count 1-1 now to Mike Garzillo. Swung on and missed. Breaking pitch low in the dirt, now 1-2. Hanowich is 1-2 to Garzillo. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Looks like this has the makings of being one of Hanowich's good innings that we talked about in the open, trying to separate himself from the struggle he had back in the first.
Now make that 3 strikeouts for Hanowich. So when he hasn't been over the fat part of the plate, hitters have come up empty on his stuff. All 3 of his strikeouts have been swinging.
Camden Duznak, the 9-hitter, made an excellent defensive play at third base. First pitch swinging, hit in the air. Weak fly ball to shallow left field. Mark Karaviotis, the shortstop, squeezes it, and he puts it away. 3 up, 3 down go the Braves. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's still 3-0 Bourne over Wareham on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the bottom of the second inning here at Spillane Field. Bourne Braves lead the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 3-0. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia and Megan O'Brien. Gary Gateman's here, and it's definitely a playoff atmosphere at Spillane Field. Gatemen hope to have at least one more home game in the playoffs, but if they lose tonight, their season is over. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Gatemen against Keegan Aiken, who surrendered a infield single to Andrew Kalika to begin the first inning, but then retired the next 3 batters he faced. First pitch swinging, tapped on the ground right side. It's going to be the second baseman Garzillo throwing to the pitcher Aiken, and Aiken can't find the bag. It'll be an infield single for Gavin Stupensky.
Stupensky not in the lineup yesterday. The rationale behind that, Cooper Ferris wanting to make sure that he's completely rested to have a solid game behind the plate catching today. But he was in a little bit of a rut at the plate. For his last 6. Not a huge slump, not even a mini slump, just a fact. And here he's aboard with an infield single.
That brings up Mark Karaviotis in his second game back from an injury. Aiken's first pitch is swung on and foul tipped into the glove, 0-1. Stupensky not a steal, or not a threat to steal, rather. He's pretty stationary, as most catchers are. Nonetheless, Aiken will check him back, and he's on the base without a dive. Aiken's 0-1 to Karaviotis. Broken bat, hit in the air weakly, shallow left field. Shortstop Chatham out. With 2 hands, he catches it out, number 1.
Aiken's short, quick arm motion makes him a little bit deceptive to pick up. And he does pump his fastball in there at a solid velocity. 90 to 93, so a lot like the Gatemen's Matt Crook. Also has an 81 to 83 breaking ball, kind of a slider curve hybrid, but since the curveball is really a dying breed in terms of pitches, we'll say it's just a slider.
First pitch to Charlie Warren, hit on the ground off the chest of Duznak, and rolling away, he throws on to first. Nice recovery by Duznak in order to get Charlie Warren out, number 2. That's 2 nice plays by Duznak. It looked like it was going to be an error or a tough luck base hit for Duznak, but instead he has the strength of mind to recover and throw on to first.
Yeah, you mentioned after he made that last diving stop that he wasn't in the lineup yesterday because C.J. Chatham's bat right now is just too hot to take out. But Chatham really profiles as a shortstop and a shortstop only. Duznak is extremely versatile. He can play pretty much anywhere in the infield, showcasing some good range at third.
Called strike to Andrew Kisner, dropped down to 8th in the order tonight.
Kind of perplexing, too, because he went 0 for 4 yesterday. That snapped a 7-game hitting streak. So it's not like he's been struggling majorly at the plate.
0-1, chopped on the ground to short. Chatham has it. He throws on to first, and that'll do it for the Gatemen in the second inning. We head to the top of the third, still 3-0 Bourne over Wareham on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the top of the third at Spillane Field. The Wareham Gatemen trail the Bourne Braves by a score of 3-0 in what is an elimination game for the Gatemen and a potential move-on game for the Braves. It'll be the top of the order for the Braves. Nick Solak, Jacob Robson, and Brendan McKay. All three of them reached base in the first inning, and two of them came around to score the first 2 runs of the game. I'm Eric Bramer, joined by Jake Garcia. And Jake, you've seen an aggressive approach to the plate from the Gatemen so far today.
Yeah, a lot of swinging at first pitches, and I don't blame them, perhaps. Aiken is around the zone early in the count, and once you get deeper into it, he showcases some pretty filthy secondary offerings. So the Gatemen trying to jump on his fastball. Hasn't worked out for them so far. They've made a lot of quick outs and really made the job easy for Aiken.
Braves will not mind that. The more innings they can get out of Aiken, the fewer innings they'll have to put on their bullpen, which is not taxed at all. I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression, but in the playoffs, things can pile up quite quickly, so the less workload they have to give to their relief corps, the better. Nick Solak was hit by a pitch to start this game. Was forced out at second on a ground ball by Robson. Takes a called strike, 0-1. Hanowich is 0-1. Off-speed pitch gets a swing and a miss, and now quickly 0-2. After the home run by Chatham, Hanowich has retired 4 straight, 2 of them on strikeouts. 0-2, hit foul right side. Hanowich from the windup delivers the 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Hanowich, and now 5 straight retired by the righty. That'll bring up Jacob Robson. He reached on a fielder's choice, then came around to score on the Chatham home run back in the first inning. Wind blowing out a little bit to right field. Enough to move the flags, but not enough to force me to say it earlier on in this game. First pitch swinging, hit on the ground to short, throw on to first. Nice play by Karaviotis, making a tough play look easy. Quickly 2 down.
It's the play that last night he bounced the throw over to first on. Here tonight, pulls his front elbow across the zone quickly and throws an accurate ball on to first. A solid play from the shortstop.
That'll bring up Brendan McKay. Single and a run scored back in the first. Hanowich's first pitch is chopped on the ground up the middle. Tough play for Robertson. The stop, the throw, in time. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Hanowich, and we head to the bottom of the third inning. Still 3-0 Bourne on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back at Spillane Field for the bottom of the third inning, the Wareham Gatemen trail the Bourne Braves by a score of 3-0. Connor Beck swings the first pitch and sends it into shallow center field. The second baseman, Mike Garzillo's out, and he calls off everyone else. He squeezes it for out number 1. A quick out for Keegan Aiken, and that's been the name of the game for him so far. Gatemen got out to an early deficit, and since then have tried to do everything themselves, it seems.
Yeah, the last 2 batters of the top of the third for Bourne swung at the first pitch. And for the Gatemen in the bottom half of the second, the 4 batters that came to the plate in that half frame all swung at the first pitch as well.
Andrew Kalika takes inside ball 1. Kalika with one of the 2 hits on the day for the Gatemen. Both of them are infield singles. Kalika's came to lead off the bottom of the first inning. 1-0, fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. And we are doing an audio-only broadcast. In case you didn't hear before, we had a lightning strike that wiped out about half of our equipment last night, so we're scrambling to even bring you this. 1-1, fouled off, third base line, 1-2 now to Kalika. We tried to get video, and that's no dice, at least for the time being. So when we post highlights after this game or early tomorrow morning, those will likely be video, but we're going to operate under the assumption that you can only hear us right now. 1-2, a check swing. Kalika gets a piece of it and fouls it straight back, still 1-2. this game moving along at a torrid pace. Only about 35 minutes in, and we're already in the bottom of the third. Aikens 1-2, low and away, blocked by Delay, but taken by Kalika, so no matter. Count now 2-2. Aikens 2-2, check swing, fouled off of Kalika in the box, and he will slowly meander his way back to the box after testing out his foot or ankle area, wherever he got that one. I think Kalika's seen about half the pitches that Aiken's thrown tonight. He takes outside, and the count runs full with Robertson on deck.
Yeah, putting together once again a very solid at-bat, working the count full, making Aiken expend himself a little bit more than he'd like to.
3-2, misses just low, ball 4. Kalika showing off that great eye at the plate, and he's aboard for the second time tonight. That'll bring up Kramer Robertson, grounded out to short his first time up. Would have been a double play if not for Kalika trying to steal second on the play. That kept the rally alive, though Kalika ended up being stranded at second base. Aiken with a peculiar move over to first. Kalika back safely, but Aiken has a little bit more freedom to do things like that because he's a left-handed pitcher. You can lift your right leg up and throw over. You can do a quick move. You can step off with your left foot and sling one over. First pitch delivered to the plate is a ball. The back pick is missed by McKay. Kalika up quickly, but no chance to advance. It just trickles a few feet away from McKay. A placid evening here in Wareham. Clear skies after the storm that wiped out our broadcast last night. There's some youth sporting event going on beyond the right center field bleachers. 1-0, a called strike to even up the count to Robertson. That is a softball field beyond the right center field fence, beyond the goalposts that are used by the Wareham Vikings during football season. And I haven't seen any actual softball games being played on it. Looks like there's a clinic of some sort, perhaps all ready for football in the outfield. Aikens 1-1 to Robertson, squaring to bunt and getting it down right in front of home plate. Delay will throw down to second and get the lead runner. A poor bunt by Kramer Robertson. It landed perhaps right on the plate. And Kalika is thrown out as the force runner at second. Robertson reaches on a fielder's choice, 2 down.
I think Kalika there was trying to bunt for a base hit, or rather Robertson was trying to bunt for a base hit, but a ball high in the strike zone didn't allow him to set his angle early and slug it down the third base line. Instead, he was reaching for a high and outside pitch. I guess that's the result, right in front of home plate.
Nick Sierra looked foolish in his first inning strikeout. A half swing and a quarter swing, and just didn't seem to be seeing the ball well out of Aiken's arm. He takes a called strike, 0-1. Bounce in the dirt, and it gets away from Delay. Robertson to second, taking a big turn. And after going about a quarter of the way to third, he will retreat to second. It's a wild pitch. Delay tried to backhand it instead of getting in front of it. And Gatemen thank him for it. Now they have a runner in scoring position. Sierra steps back in with the count 1-1. Aiken's delivery, tapped foul, half a hop, and onto the screen, 1-2. You were ready for it.
Always.
The score, 3-0 Bourne. We are in the bottom of the third inning already. Gatemen aggressive at the plate, and Bourne out to a 3-0 lead. They've been aggressive as well. Aiken takes the sign from his catcher Delay. From the stretch, delivers the 1-2, missing outside 2-2. There's a big hole on the right side of the infield should Sierra take advantage of it. Infield and outfield shaded Sierra to hit it to the opposite field. He does pull it, but it's tapped weakly to the first baseman McKay. He will take it himself, and that'll do it for the Gatemen in their half of the third inning. We head to the top of the fourth, still 3-0 Bourne on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We're back in the top of the fourth inning. Eric Raymer joined by Jake Garcia, and because this could be the last game of the season, I'm going to cede control over to Jake Garcia to do a couple innings of play-by-play.
I greatly appreciate it. Right now, the Bourne Braves have gotten the better of the Wareham Gatemen. It's 3-0 as we head to the fourth inning at Spillane. It's win or go home for the Gatemen. Brett Hanowich coughed up a 3-run home run in his first inning of work, but since has retired every single batter he's faced. It's Peter Alonso, C.J. Chatham, and Corey Jolks due up, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Alonso takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Hanowich into his windup, and now onto home plate. The 1-0 pitch is bounced in the dirt. So Alonso now in the driver's seat. He was one of the 4 strikeout victims in his first time to the plate for Hanowich. So Hanowich working on 7 batters in a row, retired. Quite a few of them offering at the first pitch. This ball lined sharply up the middle and into center field. So Alonso breaks that streak for Hanowich. It's the first hit since the C.J. Chatham home run in the third of the game for Bourne.
And look who's coming up, C.J. Chatham.
The shortstop, number 6, C.J. Chatham.
On a 3-0 pitch back in the first inning, C.J. Chatham got a ball over the fat portion of the plate. And he was not taking, had the green light on 3-0, and deposited it about halfway up the left field bleachers. Here, Hanowich comes in early to the zone, a breaking ball that's on the inside corner. Not only has Chatham been red hot recently and in this game against the Wareham Gatemen, hitting .583 this season. Had 3 hits yesterday, 1 already today. Now he serves one out to left field, sinking quickly, but Charlie Warren takes a few hard steps in, makes the catch, and Alonso retreats back to first.
Tough play for Warren because he has in the back of his mind that moonshot that Chatham hit to left field. That one had a little bit of sink to it, not as much backspin and more topspin. He had to charge in and make the catch at the shoe tips.
Now it's Corey Jolks, the 6th-hitting left fielder tonight for the Braves. Struck out in his first time up back in the first inning. Enters this game with a 13-game hitting streak, trying to extend it to 14 games. Hanowich, his first pitch, misses outside, ball 1. Not only does he carry in a 13-game hitting streak that he finished the regular season with and now on into the playoffs, he also had a hit in Bourne's final 15 road games. Runner takes off, and Jolks spoils it foul. Alonso's over on first after he rocketed a ball up the middle and into center field to start off this 4th inning. 3-0 Bourne, all 3 of their runs coming on one swing of the bat. Hanowich now working out of the stretch. A 1-1 pitch to Corey Jolks, breaking ball, and Jolks comes up empty. Took a big swing there, tried to go for extra bases, trying to score Alonso from first, but he came up empty, 1-2. Slide step onto home plate. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back right side. Reset and do things again. It's the catcher, Jason DeLay, who's on deck. Because for Hanowich, it's a double play situation. DeLay in the on-deck circle still has his shin guards on. A 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, bounced in the dirt. Stupensky over to Spirit. Keeps it in front. And he keeps Alonso staying put over at first. Hanowich set. Here's his 2-2 offering. Skied in the infield in foul territory. Stupensky gives it a chase and now ventures on over towards the fence, looks up and watches it go out of play.
Another reminder, since people may just be joining us or rejoining us, we have an audio-only broadcast for a home game tonight because an overnight storm brought with it some lightning, and a lightning strike fried about half of our broadcast equipment. So, doing what we can to bring you a vivid picture through words of tonight's game.
2-2 is high and tight. Jolk swings and fouls it straight back. Lives to see another day. We'll see if Hanowich can now notch strikeout number 5. Lights are now on at Spillane Field. Some clouds off in the distance, but none that will threaten the course of this game. Hanowich is 2-2. Fastball high. Now the count runs full. Peter Alonso over on first. With 1 out, it's not a guarantee he'll be taking off, but he has already once in this at-bat. He does not. Jolk swings, hits one in the air. Shallow left field. Charlie Warren charges in, calls his shortstop Karaviotis off, and puts it away. So Hanowich, after allowing a leadoff single in the 4th, has now induced 2 straight flyouts to Warren and left.
And just like we said in the open, a few really good innings, but 1 bad inning so far is what has caused the difference in this game. All 3 runs scoring in the first inning on a C.J. Chatham home run.
Despite not being able to keep Bourne off the scoreboard, Hanowich has executed something that the Gatemen were certainly asking of him, and that's eat innings. This is a depleted bullpen as the ball's in the dirt, and Alonso's trying for second. The throw from Stupensky is in time, and he guns him down. So Alonso tried to get greedy on a ball in the dirt, and the good arm from Stupensky hoses it. 3 outs here on the top of the 4th. The Gatemen, heart of the order, due up on the other side of this break on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back out at Spillane Field through 3.5 innings. It's the Bourne Braves 3 and the Wareham Gatemen nothing. David McKinnon, Gavin Stupensky, Mark Karaviotis, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, due up this inning to oppose the left-hander Aiken. He misses inside for ball 1 to David McKinnon, who bounced out to third in his first trip to the plate.
And bounced out of the box to have a nice chat with the home plate umpire, as is his custom.
1-0 pitch is fouled back, now 1-1. Wareham fell yesterday to these Braves, so that makes this game an elimination game for them. They don't win, their Cape League season is over. If they do win, they push it to Game 3, which will be tomorrow night at Dorn Park. McKinnon takes inside for ball 2. And the win for Bourne last night snapped a 6-game playoff losing streak against these Gatemen that dated all the way back to 2010. A ball drilled sharply up the middle and into center field. McKinnon's aboard. 3rd hit of the game for the Gatemen and the first for McKinnon.
All 3 of the hits for the Gatemen have come to leadoff innings, but both Kalika in the first and Stupensky in the second have been stranded at second. We'll see if McKinnon can get further than that. I know I try to be a stickler about further versus farther, and in this distinction, would it be to a further degree because they're advancing, or farther because it's technically a distance that they're advancing?
A further degree because it's not a distance you can measure, right?
Well, it's 90 feet between each base.
Oh, I thought you were talking about advancing in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
No.
Just completely slipped my mind. Well, yes. So farther in that instance. The 0-1 pitch to Gavin Stupensky is close, but no cigar. 1-1. Aiken coming off his best start in his last time out. He went 5 innings, 1 earned run against YD, struck out 7 batters. In this game, only has 1 strikeout through a total of 3 innings now, as a breaking ball misses inside for ball 2. So the swing and miss stuff not as prevalent in this game as it has been so often this season for Keegan Aiken. But he has succeeded because these Gatemen have been offering early in the count and hitting it right to his fielders. Gives McKinnon a long stare over at first, and Stupensky swings and misses, now 2-2. But make no mistake about it, Keegan Aiken is certainly a swing and miss pitcher. more strikeouts than innings pitched this year. And it's commonplace for these Cape Leaguers to post video game-like numbers in high school, but Aiken certainly did that. 104 strikeouts and 49 innings of work. The 2-2 to Stupensky is on the outside corner and hit foul. And yes, he's a long way removed from high school, but with high school numbers that jump off the page like his, I guess they're worth mentioning. Lifts his leg and onto home plate. The 2-2 pitch is wrapped foul, first base side.
What were your high school numbers like?
I didn't pitch in high school, so I couldn't have otherworldly statistics like he did. But in a platoon situation of sorts at second base, I held my own in the batter's box and certainly defensively.
Well, I can look myself up. I think my Max Preps profile is still active. Probably not going to like what I see.
The 2-2 pitch hit out on the end of the bat, and in the shallow infield is C.J. Chatham, the shortstop, camps underneath it and puts it away. Stupensky retired. He's now 1 for 2.
Let's see. In the 2011-2012 season, I was 0 for 1, reached on an error, batting, and pitching. Ooh, I had an 8.88 ERA. That wasn't very good.
I'm not even sure if you look at my max preps if they'll show up. Could be wrong, though.
Woof.
Karaviotis takes ball 1 high. Now go ahead and do that.
Jake Garcia or Jacob?
Jacob, likely.
Turlock?
Yep. Karaviotis from Oregon is 0 for 1. Made his first time into the lineup yesterday since July 28th. Takes a fastball high and outside, now 2-0.
I have your soccer stats.
Ah.
And you were named Player of the Game on April 1st, 2013.
There we go.
On the season, a 208 batting average, 5 hits, 4 runs batted in, 8 runs scored, on base percentage of .333.
The 2-0 is hit in the air, right side. The first baseman, McKay, gives it a chase, looks up, and it's off the top of the Gatemen dugout.
That's all right. I was always more of a summer ball American Legion player. Picked up a couple saves in Legion, 300 hitter, so...
I'm not sure if Legion Ball in Minnesota is the same thing as Legion Ball is in California, but... And I'm not trying to trash the people who put on Legion Ball, because it's Legion Baseball is completely different than it was 50 years ago.
Right.
But it's really a joke. The players...
Okay.
The star players don't show up, and I was by no means a star player, but I only showed up every so often.
Well, Minnesota, there aren't too many other options, so Legion Ball is kind of the thing in the summer. Evidently, it's different in California, but...
It's worth asking these players what their Legion Ball experiences were like. I'm sure as Karaviotis watches a 2-2 pitch go by him for strike 3, home plate umpire Joe Peters, kind of a feeble strike 3 call, but Karaviotis is down for the second out. I'm sure if we asked these players what their Legion Ball experience was like, they were obviously the star players of their high school teams, and I'm sure they played on exceptionally elite travel ball teams, and maybe for them high school baseball wasn't even the focus. It was getting recognized at these elite showcase tournaments. Now it's Charlie Warren who swings and misses at the first offering from Keegan Egan. And talking with our MLB scout liaison, Brian Shropshire, he said, well, the reason that the scouts have largely departed now from the Cape League is that they are now attending these showcase tournaments, trying to get a glimpse of the next up-and-coming high school players. Warren now down 0-2. They're 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Gatemen trying to string together a rally as they're down 3-0 to the Bourne Braves and don't want to be sent packing after 2 games in the Cape League playoffs. 0-2 from Keegan Aiken, swing and a miss. Charlie Warren chases a high fastball and comes up empty. That's the second strikeout of the game for Keegan Aiken. Expect to see those tallies tick up a few more as his outing progresses. 3-0 Bourne as we head to the 5th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Through 4 complete, it's 3-0 Bourne over the Wareham Gatemen as Brett Hanowich is out to toe the rubber starting what will be his 5th inning of work. Face the 7, 8, and 9 guys, Delay, Garzillo, and Duznak. Delay swings and fouls one on the first pitch. Hanowich, operating out of the windup, throws his hands over his head and delivers a strike on the inside corner, much to the chagrin of Jason Delay.
Credit where credit's due. Hanowich can't do anything about the 3 runs he gave up in the first inning, but he's been nearly flawless since then. He's faced only 9 batters, gave up a base hit, but it was quickly erased on a caught stealing.
As he misses outside for ball 1, right where his catcher Stupensky lined up. But yeah, Hanowich, despite allowing the leadoff single to Peter Alonso, ever since that home run to Chatham, has faced the minimum. This ball lined sharply into center field as Delay's aboard for the first time tonight.
Just a clarification for our listeners who were for a brief moment viewers. We did have our cameras set up and everything, and we are actually viewing a feed on the video monitor right now, but we couldn't push that all out with the signal we had, the somewhat hampered signal after the lightning strike. So we're doing audio only in order to make sure that we can get something out to our listeners, and hopefully after the fact we will have a full video broadcast, simulcast, so to speak, that will be out on YouTube if you want to watch the game in its entirety.
Garzillo shows bunt, pulls back for strike 1. Now a pickoff move on to first from Hanowich. And definitely let's give props to our broadcast director, Warren Randolph, who has been running around tirelessly
For the past 2 months.
For the past 2 months, and specifically for the past 4 hours here, trying to get some sort of video feed up and running. Wasn't able to do so, but at least we're on the air, and I guess that's what really counts, despite the fact that our viewers/listeners have been accustomed to getting a video feed whenever there have been home games. A 1-1 pitch from Hanowich is a breaking ball in the dirt, smothered by Stupensky.
There were concerns about the lights and starting a game at 7 o'clock. If the fuse had blown out on all of our stadium lights, there were concerns about the scoreboard, but by all accounts, pretty much everything else survived the storm.
Hanowich gets his signs from Stupensky. He lines up on the inside corner, and Hanowich hits his spot, but not budging as the home plate umpire, so now it's 3-1 to the 8-hitter Garzillo.
I'm surprised Chatham's even playing a home game right now,
And why is that?
because Chatham doesn't have good drainage on their fields. Neither does Hyannis. Hyannis hosted a game last night, so they're on the road against Catuit.
A ball in the inside portion of the plate, in on the fist and skied foul over the Gatemen dugout. So now the payoff pitch is upcoming to Garzillo, and the 9-hitter Duznak awaits.
If you spit on McKeon Park, they'll call a rain delay. 2 games have gone final. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks beat the Catuit Kettleers by a score of 9-5, and they move on. And the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox pulling off the upset with a 2-game sweep over the favored Brewster Whitecaps, a 7-3 victory. So the YD Red Sox will play the winner of the Orleans-Chatham series. Orleans has a 1-0 lead in that series, and the game is 0-0 in the bottom of the 4th at Veterans Field in Chatham.
Garzillo swings and was right on a pitch from Hanowich, fouling it straight back. Give you our takeaways from those series going final here in a second. The payoff pitch, and Hanowich got him swinging. Strikeout number 4 for Brett Hanowich, and that's the first out of the 5th.
Number 4, Camden Duzak from Dallas Baptist.
Duznak will now check in.
Du's nasty.
That's what
in the
they
field.
call him. At the plate, though, in a bit of a rut right now. He's 0 for his last 15, but his glove is certainly a plus and of benefit to this Braves team. He can play short, he can play third, can even play second as well, even though for quite some time now Garzillo's had that position locked down.
Is he more like Du's nah at the plate?
Or just nasty.
Nasty.
Yeah,
Nasty with a negative connotation.
exactly.
Okay. I can dig it.
Hanowich is in there now 0-1, and he picks off over to first, but Delay is back with the head first dive. So our takeaways from those series going final. Yesterday, Hyannis wrapped out 17 hits against Cotuit. Their 5 runs through 3 innings were really all that they needed. Today they put up a 9 spot as the runner takes off and Duznak hits 1 foul. So Hyannis scoring runs in bunches in these 2 games against Cotuit. They will play the Bourne Braves if they can hold on tonight against the Gatemen. I guess simply put, the winner of this series will face the top-seeded Hyannis Harbor Hawks from the West. And YD pulling off the upset over the 2-seeded Brewster. They benefited from a 3-run 8th last night and really rode their bullpen in its entirety. A pitch outside, which causes Stupensky to backpick onto first. Nothing doing. Count 1-2 to Camden Duznak. Kind of an opposite story today, though, for the Red Sox, who rode the services of Ricky Thomas throughout that game, and he was stellar, stifling Brewster. So YD, the defending champs, on to the second round. They'll play Orleans if they win tonight, as Hanowich plunks Duznak right on the rib cage. He's on to first, and Delay advances 90 feet on to second.
We just got an email. Wonder who it's from. Raymond Stupensky sent us an email expanding on our discussion a few moments ago about Legion versus Travel Ball. He says in Central Jersey, where Gavin played his baseball, Legion was still strong, as Travel Ball was oftentimes very expensive. And I think that's not something that's just in Central Jersey, although
Absolutely
it sounds
not.
like Legion Ball still has a foothold in that area, which is a very good thing. I had a very positive Legion experience. I did not have any travel experience, so I can't speak to that, but I think it's the general consensus among most people in this industry, if we can call it that, that Travel Ball, while it offers an exciting opportunity for a lot of players, is a very expensive proposition, and it's often exclusionary.
Ground ball up the middle. Solak, it could be 2. It's Karaviotis to Robertson. They get 1 at second, but Solak legs out a fielder's choice. So now runners on first and third with 2 away. Yeah, I can echo that sentiment because I both did Legion Ball and Travel Baseball, and make no mistake about it, I was not a highly touted baseball prospect in high school. So
I just looked at your Max Preps profile, and
so I hit 208. Is that what it was?
Defensive-minded middle infielder.
That's right. But I guess to finish the point, the Travel Ball team that I played on kind of went against the grain, and it was very cheap. We didn't travel very far, and it was kind of made up of a lot of players like me, I guess. Not necessarily misfits.
I'm sure it was a lot of fun to play on a team that went 0-36.
No, we didn't. We actually won a few tournaments, and I guess we were the San Francisco Giants of travel baseball.
All right.
But I definitely agree with what Raymond Stupensky is saying. Travel ball is, I guess, for the upper class, if you will, and it's really a shame because it just drains money, and the tournaments are so dang expensive.
A conference on the mound as the Gatemen try and figure out their first and third defensive alignment. You can also kind of fib your way to the top using Travel Ball. I know a few players that will remain nameless, but players who had the means to put themselves on really good teams, elite teams. That's that word, elite, that has lost all meaning in the past couple years because you can call yourself an elite travel team and not really be elite at all.
Jacob Robson takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Solak over on first and Delay on third.
You can buy your way onto teams, I guess is what I'm saying, and that's something that Travel Ball allows and Legion Ball isn't really conducive to because the fees are much lower.
1-0 pitch from Hanowich, misses low and inside, ball 2. To defend myself, I was a far superior Travel Ball player than I was high school baseball player. And not that you care, but just so my name isn't torched in flames, my team did not go 0-36.
Okay.
It was actually a whole lot of fun, and I'd like to say that I excelled at it. Now it's 3-0 to Jacob Robson, and Hanowich is in danger of walking the bases juiced.
Well, you and I could probably start our own elite travel team.
We could.
If we had enough money, we could call it the Spillane U19 Elites. Just gather up some of the other interns and go around the country using our money to pay to have scouts see us.
Robson walks on 4 pitches, and now the bases are juiced for Brendan McKay. Except I don't know about you, but I'm not U19.
No, I'm 20 as of a couple weeks ago, but you know, could do a Danny Almonte thing and get a fake birth certificate, make things interesting.
What's probably more interesting would be if we could assemble a softball team. That was a lot of fun, playing in the first ever employee softball game here at Spillane. It's Brendan McKay, the 3-hitter from Louisville. And speaking of highly touted players, as a freshman, the John Olerud Award winner. We've touched on this multiple times, but certainly not a guy you want to face with the bases jacked. Hanowich's first offering was in the zone. His second is not, so it's 1-1. McKay singled and scored in the first, bounced out in his last time up. So he's 1 for 2. Robson on first, Solak on second, and Delay on third. Hanowich kicks his leg and fires from the windup. Fastball misses outside, now it's 2-1.
I felt a little bit guilty playing that employee softball game because we were on the same team, and I don't think that was fair.
Nope, it was not. The 2-1 pitch from Hanowich is belted into center field, but Kalika is right there. Few steps in, few steps back. He makes the catch and puts it away. Hanowich escapes a bases-loaded jam, allows no runs, and keeps the Braves off the scoreboard. Onto the bottom of the 5th at Spillane Field. 3-0 Braves on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 5th, the Gatemen are trying to get a pulse going offensively. They have the 8, 9, and then 1 hitter due up to oppose Keegan Aiken. Aiken has allowed 3 hits, a few of them reaching to second base. No runner has reached third tonight for the Gatemen. And of course, no runners have crossed the plate. Kisner first, and he takes pitch inside and low that goes to the backstop. Aiken got 2 strikeouts on the bottom of the 4th to run his outing total to 3. Kisner takes outside and low, 2-0. All 3 runs for Bourne tonight came on a C.J. Chatham home run back in the first inning, as Aiken is on the outside corner with the fastball. So Bourne scoring first. Wareham has yet to score. And the Gatemen this season, it's a stat that we've mentioned numerous times, but now they're 6-19 when the opponents score first. Kisner goes opposite field and it's slicing hard. This one could go for extra bases. All the way to the wall, and Kisner is motoring into second. The right fielder Solak is up with it and he gets it in. But Kisner starts off the bottom of the 5th with a double. Continues his pursuit of the team lead, and he is leading the team in that department. The Gatemen get a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
This is closer to the Kisner that Cooper Ferris thought he was getting this year. At the beginning of the season, he went through a very deep funk. He'd tell you as much. But now it looks like he's climbing out of it. 7-game hitting streak to end the regular season. And not just hits, extra base hits. A big home run, a couple doubles, and now a double here to lead off the 5th.
Now we'll see if Cooper Ferris intends to try and go for this 1 run or if he's trying for a big inning. Beck does not show bunt and instead takes a first pitch strike from Aiken. Wareham won the first 3 matchups of this series, this season-long series, but now Bourne comes in with a 3-game winning streak against these Gatemen. It's been the Cody Sedlock show last night and the Keegan Aiken show tonight, really stifling this Wareham Gatemen offense. 1-1 now to the 9-hitter Connor Beck. The top of the order is due up on deck. Beck is 0 for 1, but here looking for a productive at-bat. Aiken in the zone with the fastball, and now he's ahead 1-2. And as I looked up just now, I saw lightning off in the distance. A friendly reminder that lightning is the perpetrator and the cause that we don't have a video feed on this broadcast.
And we want to keep this game going so it goes final and goes 5 innings. Of course, first and foremost, we want the Gatemen to win, but if the umpires see lightning within a reasonable distance, it's an automatic 30-minute delay, so we will speak of it no more.
Beck takes inside, so now it's 2-2. Fans starting to clap, egging this Gateman offense on. Looping curveball is hit foul and out of play over the bleachers on the first base side. We are currently in the bottom of the 5th inning at Spillane Field. The Gatemen playing for their playoff lives. Keegan Aiken has other ideas. His 2-2 pitch is in on the fists of Connor Beck in an emergency hack. He fouls one over towards the Gatemen dugout.
Andrew Kalika, no chance to react there. Just glad that missed him by a few feet.
The on-deck circles here at Spillane are awfully close to the batter's box.
Yes, they are.
Don't see too many hitters actually standing in them, but still in their general vicinity. As Beck is now putting together a really good at-bat, he fouls a high fastball straight back to the screen.
I've always been an advocate, and this opinion has been suggested to me, so I won't claim it as original. But why don't hitters at every level do what they do in Little League and have the on-deck hitter line up and take their practice swings behind the hitter?
2-2 to Connor Beck, again fouled. Make that 4 in a row now for Beck.
Connor Beck is standing in the right-handed batter's box, and Andrew Kalika is standing in front of the Gatemen dugout. He just missed getting smoked by a line drive foul ball a few moments ago, but if Kalika were to just walk, 60, 70 feet across home plate and go towards the Braves dugout, he would not be in any danger, and things would be a lot safer.
5th straight foul ball from Connor Beck, really giving Aiken a run for his money. Again, showcasing you the difference between Minnesota and California. When I played Little League, we didn't even have on-deck hitters. The on-deck person waited in the dugout and didn't get timing or anything.
Well, that's even safer.
Correct.
But you get what I'm saying here.
Yeah, I think it's a noble idea. Well, Beck foul off a 6th straight pitch. He does not, and he puts one in play, shallow center field. Robson charges hard in, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Did you have half of your conference schedule your senior year wiped out because of snow in the infield?
I, as many can guess, did not.
All right. There's another difference between Minnesota and California baseball. Probably part of an explanation why there are more baseball players coming out of California than Minnesota.
It's a fair assessment. One baseball player who's coming out of California is Andrew Kalika, and he's into the left-handed batter's box. A lefty-on-lefty matchup against Aiken. First pitch curveball in there for a strike. Something I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast was Aiken's pitch mix. Has a fastball low to mid-90s, has a low to mid-80s breaking ball. We're not sure if it's a slider or a curveball at this point, as he showcases it again, this time out of the strike zone, 1-1. D1 Baseball tabbed it as having curveball depth, but slider bite.
Now, can you legally say that? Because I'm sure that information was behind a paywall.
And I paid to get that information.
Okay.
So, yes, I can. Not all of D1 Baseball's content is behind a paywall.
Okay.
But the Cape Cod reports, I believe, are. That's where I read up on what they had to say about Keegan Aiken. 1-2 pitch, another breaking ball of some sorts. It's in the dirt. It'll require a throw as Kalika swings and misses. An accurate one from Jason DeLay, and now there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
4 strikeouts now for Aiken. We've seen a very aggressive approach at the plate. So I guess that's just even more of a testament to Aiken's swing and miss stuff, that even when the Gatemen are swinging early in the counts, they're missing, and missing late in the counts to get some strikeouts.
Now it's Kramer Robertson, who's been held hitless today, 0 for 2. That won't take away from his absolute demolition of Braves pitching. Came into this game hitting .545 against this team. That cause aided by 2 hits yesterday. Takes a hack at the first pitch, sends one right side, and foul down the right field line. Robertson also carries in a 5-game hitting streak into this contest, so looking to extend that. Aiken takes a deep breath, and a curveball gets away from him, causing his catcher delay to spring up and spear it before it goes to the backstop.
And Aiken goes to the ground, pick up a little dirt to get some tack on his fingers.
It's Kisner on second, who started this inning off with a double. The Gatemen have put together 2 unproductive at-bats since then. Now it's the 2-hitter Kramer Robertson, who's now ahead 2-1. Robertson, the second baseman out of LSU, trying to give his team 1 run to show for against Aiken. Now he has an extreme hitters count as Aiken misses outside with the fastball. Cooper Ferris over in the third base coaching box, cheering on his team, giving some claps. Reason to cheer because the Gatemen made the playoffs this year for the first time since 2012. Robertson takes on the inside portion, a called strike. The count runs full with 2 outs. Gatemen also have the, not an active streak, but the longest consecutive playoff appearance streak in Cape history at 13. So now with 1 this year, they're starting a new streak of their own. Robertson takes inside. A base on balls for the 2-hitter. Now 2 runners aboard for Nick Sierri.
Sierri has come up before with a runner in scoring position. That was back in the 3rd inning. Actually, twice now. In the 1st and the 3rd, he struck out in the 1st and tapped out weakly to 1st in the 3rd to end the inning.
That'll draw the pitching coach for the Bourne Braves out to the mound and bring the catcher delay along with him. The Gatemen still have not placed a runner on third base against Aiken. This is the 4th time that someone has reached second base. But on all 3 previous occasions, that runner has not advanced to third, let alone crossed home plate. Sierri, as Eric alluded to, is 0 for 2. Had a strikeout in the 1st, bounced out to McKay over at 1st in the 3rd. Home plate umpire Joe Peters quickly out to break up the conference, saying, let's not spoil the hasty pace that this game is already set. Nearly through 5 complete innings. And I guess it's slowed down a little bit, but not even an hour and a half through yet. The lefty Aiken from the stretch, 2 looks on to second. Now on to home plate. A fastball that nips the outside portion for strike 1. Robertson over on first, Kisner on second. They will be off on contact with 2 outs. Sierri makes contact and sends one foul over on top of the school.
Go Vikings.
That's what the Bourne broadcasters would say in that instance.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time a ball hits the school, that's their go-to phrase, and Eric just illegally stole it.
Sorry. I don't think they're listening. I think they're busy.
I guess it's a similar philosophy that I use D1 Baseball's information. They're not listening either, so I think we're both good. Counts now 1-2 to Sierri as Keegan Aiken missed low and outside. Here's his next offering. Line drive up the middle and into center field. A base hit for Sierri. Kisner will be held as he stumbles around third base. At the last second, Cooper Ferris put on the brakes. And probably wisely so, Robson in center field has a good arm. And instead, the Gatemen will be content with loading the bases. Still, though, runs are hard to come by off of Aiken. And who's to know if they can get 2 consecutive singles off of it.
That decision will be judged based upon what happens next. Looks like the Braves are going to the bullpen. This will be the end of the day for Aiken.
Harvey Shapiro, the head coach of the Bourne Braves, motions over to the bullpen, and Aiken will depart. Remember that Bourne has an exceptional amount of talent in their bullpen, and it's all very well rested. So Aiken departs, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the 5th. The Gatemen are threatening. I'll tell you all about the new arm on the other side of the break. The Gatemen have loaded the bases here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Keegan Aiken, the starter for Bourne, departs, and he gives way to the right-hander Kyle Driscoll. He inherits a tough situation, but as I alluded to, before we went to break, a very well-rested Bourne Braves bullpen. They got Austin Conway, who has yet to allow an earned run this season, still in line in the bullpen. Saw Baker yesterday. Deal's also an arm they have. But now it's Driscoll, who has only thrown 20 pitches since July 26. So comes in with a fresh and healthy arm, trying to get out of a jam his starting pitcher created. McKinnon takes high for ball one. The fastball that was out of the strike zone. McKinnon looking for hit number 2. He singled in his last time up. He checks in 1 for 2. Sierra over on first, Robertson on second, and Andrew Kisner on third. A 1-0 pitch from Kyle Driscoll. A fastball misses high one more time. Driscoll stands 6'7", 245 on the mound, so definitely an imposing presence. And his ERA is imposing as well. 2.18 coming into this game, 26 strikeouts in 20 innings of work. Here's his 2-0 offering to David McKinnon. On the inside corner for a strike. McKinnon not agreeing with that one.
I haven't seen a called strike that he does agree with, but that's just David's way.
Driscoll set. A look on to second. Now he kicks his leg and fires a 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to second base. Easy for Garzillo. And he fires on to first. A routine out to end the bottom of the fifth. The Gatemen loaded the bases on 2 hits and a walk, but come up empty. Bourne still leads by 3. On to the 6th we go at Spillane.
We head to the top of the 6th inning at Spillane Field. The Bourne Braves lead the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 3-0. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. Both teams left the bases loaded in the 5th inning. First, the Bourne Braves squandered a chance to extend their lead, and the Wareham Gatemen squandered a chance of their own to get back in this ball game. Brett Hanowich out to begin his 6th inning of work. He gave up a big 3-run home run back in the 1st inning, but since then he's been pretty good. Save for the bases loaded situation he got himself into in the last inning, he's faced the minimum since that home run.
We can now officially close the book after the bases were loaded and then stranded by the relief pitcher Kyle Driscoll.
First pitch swinging is Peter Alonso past a diving Kisner and into the left field corner. Rounding first, on his way to second, a big turn, and now he retreats to first. Alonso not very fleet of foot, and with a 3-run lead, no sense in making it out on the base paths. Alonso aboard on first with a leadoff single.
So the final line for Aiken, 4.2 innings of work, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Of his 92 pitches, 63 of them were strikes.
Now C.J. Chatham, who's accounted for all the runs driven in this game. 3-run home run to left center field back in the 1st inning. He flew out to left his last time up. He takes low ball 1. If the Braves win this game, they will advance to round 2 of the Cape League playoffs and play the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 1-0 bunted in the air, and Stupinski just misses it, peeling around behind home plate. Count now 1-1. The Gatemen, should they lose, will be eliminated, and their season will be over. We've talked to a bunch of the Gatemen players, and there's going to be a diaspora of sorts. Everyone going their own way, back to school, to home. Some people on the semester system, some on the quarter system. I know you're sticking around for a couple more days when the season ends, and then heading back before ASU school starts. Swung on and missed by Chatham, and the count now 1-2.
I'm very much looking forward to this upcoming college baseball season because now when I hear a name, I'm not just hearing a name and looking at their stats. I'm attributing a personality to that name and a face and a personal relationship that we've now established with these players. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Not too many Big Ten guys in the Cape, but I'll be looking around at the nation. 6-4-3. A double play off the bat of C.J. Chatham, tailor-made, but a close play at both second and first. Alonso wiped out on the base paths, now 2 down.
That'll help the pitch count of Brett Hanowich in his pursuit to get deeper and deeper into this game. 2 outs on 1 pitch to the guy who lasted a 3-run home run off of him in the 1st.
Though if the game ended right now, Hanowich would be the losing pitcher. You can't really fault him for his performance tonight, as he delivers a called strike on the outside corner to Corey Julks, 0 for 2 on the day. Save for that 3-run home run that, mind you, came on a 3-0 pitch with 2 down in the first inning. 0-1 is swung on and missed, and now 0-2 to Julks. He's only allowed 3 more hits, including the one that led off this inning, and he's faced just 3 over the minimum. Hanowich is 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Brett Hanowich allows a one-out or leadoff single, rather, but then just faces 3 men. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-0 Bourne on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning at Spillane Field. The Bourne Braves lead the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 3-0. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Wareham Gatemen. Keegan Aiken's day is done, and his line is without an earned run. Now in the game is Kyle Driscoll. Driscoll got the last out of the 5th inning, getting David McKinnon to ground out to second with the bases loaded. Stupinski 1 for 2 on the day, infield single, and a pop out to short. Ball 1 misses outside. Driscoll's 1-0, taken low, 2-0. Nick Solak out in right field, putting his arms out as if to ask, where was that pitch?
He has a pretty good angle on it.
I thought it was a ball from this angle. 2-0 to Stupinski. High fastball fouled straight back to the screen in the vicinity of our crowd microphone. You might have heard that. Stupinski has made quite the impression in his few weeks with the Gatemen roster. 2-1 is rolled on the ground right side off the glove of a diving McKay and into shallow right field. Another single for Gavin Stupinski. This one trickles into the outfield grass, but still considered probably an infield single. And he's aboard at first with nobody out. That is the 5th time, actually, that the Gatemen have led off an inning with a base runner.
Normally, that's the recipe to ignite rallies. Here tonight, though, the Gatemen have made quite a few outs after getting the leadoff base runner aboard. These pitchers for Bourne have been executing well out of the stretch.
Ball 1 misses high to Mark Karaviotis. Karaviotis 0 for 2 on the day. Popped out to short and struck out looking. Driscoll's 1-0 is swung on and missed. A high fastball gets Karaviotis, and now the count 1-1. Most, if not all, of the crowd is still here. Gatemen trying to keep this game close. Ball 2 misses inside, now 2-1.
See a right-handed arm warming up in the Bourne bullpen. Over in the Gatemen bullpen, I believe there is also a right-handed arm. Tough to see, though, given the green netting that extends from left field over to right.
Karaviotis fouls the 2-1 back to the screen. It's now 2-2. Fouled off the mask of Jason DeLay behind the plate, and the count remains 2-2. Driscoll takes the sign, comes to a set, checks Stupinski, and delivers the 2-2. Strike 3 looking on the outside corner. Karaviotis, for the 2nd straight plate appearance, is struck out looking. Now with 1 down, Charlie Warren steps to the plate, like Karaviotis coming into this at-bat, 0 for 2 on the day. Driscoll's first pitch is fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Looks like all these Gatemen hitters have been close to turning around a Driscoll fastball, but just haven't quite squared it up. Driscoll's 0-1. Off-speed pitch. Clips the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. So far in this series, the Gatemen have been outscored by the Braves by a margin of 10-1. That lone run coming last night. 0-2 misses outside. Good take by Warren, now 1-2. Driscoll to a set, and he delivers the 1-2 very high. Warren takes again, and after being behind in the count 0-2, now he's making it bad of it, 2-2. Driscoll's 2-2, a very close take, and taken for a ball, just a little bit low and outside. Now the count runs full with Andrew Kisner waiting on deck.
I think Charlie Warren may have thought that he had just taken strike 3 there. Pretty nasty breaking ball from Kyle Driscoll, but just a little bit low.
Here's the payoff pitch, chopped up the middle. Second baseman Garzillo has trouble with it, and he boots it. Everyone will reach. It could have been an inning-ending double play, but instead runners at first and second, and one out for the 8-hitter Andrew Kisner, who doubled his last time up.
That is a brutally difficult play to make, and for Garzillo ranging over toward his right, towards the second base bag, having to deal with a short hop and also trying to turn 2 simultaneously. That's a tough air to give, and it's not even going to be ruled an error, an infield single.
Pitcher probably doesn't like that, but not a whole lot that Garzillo could have done, trying to do a couple things at once. Kisner at the plate doubled his last time up. He takes high, ball 1.
Really the only other alternative there for Garzillo, other than hoping and praying and trying to come up lucky, is to wait back on that ball, play it on another hop, and just take the out over at first. But Warren does run well out of the left-hander's box, so even then, I'm not sure if he would have gotten it.
Driscoll's 1-0, fouled off right side. The runner at second is Stupinski. Runner at first, Charlie Warren. Gatemen have 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. They trail by 3, but the tying run is at the plate in the form of Andrew Kisner. Driscoll's 1-1, hit into shallow center field, down for a hit. Here comes Stupinski, and he's going to be held at third base. For the second straight inning, Cooper Ferris has held a runner at third, and a perfectly defensible decision from this vantage point.
Yeah, Stupinski had just touched the third base bag, and the throw from the center fielder Robson was just getting into the infield. So definitely the smart move there, especially with only 1 out. That's Kisner's second hit of the day. Really swinging the bat well, and now a pinch hitter for Connor Beck.
It's going to be Jay Jabs. This move makes sense. Cooper Ferris has used the right field slot to platoon both Beck and Jabs. Beck going against left-handed starters and Jabs against righties. Now that Keegan Aiken, the lefty, is out of the game, replaced by the righty Driscoll, Jabs at the plate with a chance to tie this game up or take the lead. First pitch, a high fastball, gets a swing and a miss, strike 1. Jabs has the only grand slam of the year for the Gatemen. That came way back in the first week of the season against Harwich.
Also the only active player on this roster with more than 1 home run. So he can put one over the fence. That would be monumental for this Gatemen team.
0-1 taken up and in to even up the count. The tying run at first. The go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Jay Jabs. Gatemen trail by 3, but they have the man at the plate that they want. Driscoll's 1-1, swung on and missed. An inside, looked like almost a cutter. It had some lateral action to it with the speed of a fastball. Whatever it was, Jabs didn't hit it, and the count now 1-2. Driscoll from the set delivers a breaking pitch that bends across the plate and misses just low and in. Now 2-2.
What a take there by Jay Jabs. That ball starting in the strike zone and then the last second just diving out.
Driscoll accepts the sign from his catcher Delay. Here's the 2-2 to Jabs. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Fastball up in the zone, and now things will be left to the batting champion, Andrew Kalika. Kalika has reached base twice today. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Kalika, like Jabs, has a home run this year, but he's not by any means a home run hitter. Again, the Gatemen trail by a score of 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 2 down for the leadoff hitter. And during the regular season, .429 hitter, Andrew Kalika. 425 was his final tally. Now there's going to be a conference on the mound as Braves try and decide what to do in this at-bat. No room to put him, so you can't pitch around Kalika. Not that you would want to anyway, because there are 2 other 300 hitters behind him in Kramer Robertson and Nick Sierri.
I think the message right here to Kyle Driscoll is just have faith in your stuff. These Bourne Braves pitchers as a whole have had success against Kalika, despite the fact that Kalika has really lit the rest of the league on fire this regular season. Only 1 hit in the playoffs, though, so for the Gatemen, definitely the guy you want up at the plate with the bases loaded, and really a make-or-break situation of this game. If they're unable to score here, a devastating blow if Driscoll were to escape.
First pitch to Kalika is taken high, ball 1. The Gatemen have left at least 1 runner on in every inning so far, trying to cash in their second consecutive bases-loaded situation. 1-0-2 Kalika fouled off to the screen, 1-1.
And he was on that pitch, kind of wincing that he wishes he had it back.
Driscoll came in to pitch out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th inning. Here he is, trying to wriggle out of the same situation in the 6th. The 1-1 to Kalika, a check swing and a called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Kalika has played the hero so many times for the Gatemen this year. The 1-2, this is high, 2-2. Driscoll does not want to go to 3-2 because then the runners would leave early. Driscoll takes the sign from Delay, comes to a set, delivers the 2-2 to Kalika, fouled off left side.
And it was already a given that once Kalika stepped in, he was going to give Driscoll a very intense at-bat. And sure enough, fouling a pitch off there. If he's in the strike zone, wouldn't be surprised to see it in play. If Driscoll is out, Kalika has an exceptional eye.
Driscoll's 2-2 to Kalika. Slapped foul left side again off Wareham Middle School.
Go Vikings. It's going to take me a while to get used to.
This could be the last game of the season, so you better catch on quick. Kalika trying to drive in at least 1 run and keep this inning going. The 2-2 from Driscoll, again fouled off left side. That one narrowly avoided Cooper Ferris in the third base coach's box.
3 straight foul balls from Kalika. The more this at-bat wears on, the more the advantage shifts into his favor.
The 2-2 from Driscoll. Check swing, and it's a foul tip. It went through the 5-hole of Jason Delay, so from this vantage point, we thought it was either a strike 3 wild pitch or just a wild pitch in general. But no, it glanced off the bat of Kalika, so things will reset with the count still 2-2.
This isn't a discredit to Kramer Robertson on deck, but the Gatemen want 2 runs to come off Kalika's bat. He has been their best hitter all season long, and definitely their most clutch hitter as well.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Driscoll trying to wriggle out of a jam. Here's the 2-2 to Kalika. Slashed foul down the left field line. All of the fouls have come to the left side. And that's typically been the type of hitter that Kalika is. Infield playing back, outfield at normal depth, shaded a bit to left center.
In this situation, Driscoll knows he's not going to get anything past Kalika.
2-2 to Kalika. Hit in the air, shallow left field, behind third base, in foul territory, and no one's going to catch it. It'll fall harmlessly. Runners will have to retreat. Person with the best chance at it was Corey Julks in left field, but he came up a few paces short.
Yeah, really whatever Kyle Driscoll is firing away at Kalika, Kalika has defended himself against it. Driscoll knows he doesn't have a fastball to pump it past Kalika. I think really his only option here is if he decides for a fastball, hoping Kalika hits it right to someone, or if he has the courage to bounce a breaking ball, having confidence in Jason DeLay to stop it, and hoping that Kalika will come up empty.
Another 2-2 from Driscoll. Breaking pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Kalika can't believe it, and I'm sure there are a few fans that agree with him. A second consecutive bases-loaded rally is squashed, and we head to the top of the 7th with the score still 3-0 Bourne on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the top of the 7th inning at Spillane Field, 3-0 Bourne over Wareham. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. The Wareham Gatemen have left at least one runner on in every single inning so far this evening, and 3. The bases loaded in both the 5th and 6th innings. That's where playoff games are won and lost.
In Andrew Kalinka's defense in that last half inning, it was a generous strike 3 call, a breaking ball on the outside corner that got him looking. Probably too close to take with 2 strikes, but still, earlier in the count and earlier in this game, I'm not sure if that outside corner was being rewarded.
Jeff Shank is the new pitcher in the game for the Gatemen, making his first appearance, so we don't know anything about him. But I'm sure we will finally see him for the first time and quickly realize what we've been missing all year. Connor Beck is out of the game. Replacing him in right field is Jay Jabs, who pinch hit for Beck in the last half inning. The door is closed, the book is closed on Brett Hanowich. He went 6 even innings pitched, 3 runs, all of them earned, all of them scoring on a C.J. Chatham home run back in the first inning. 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 82 pitches, and 55 strikes. He was pretty impressive tonight, probably his best start of the year. Jason DeLay, 1 for 2, singled his last time up. First pitch misses wide, ball 1. Shank is a lefty, wearing his socks up. We'll try and extrapolate from there. 1-0, clips the outside corner to even up the count. From the windup, the 1-1 breaking pitch that misses just inside. Stupensky tried to hold it, but he doesn't get the call, now 2-1. 2-1 misses wide, now 3-1. Three-one misses low, and a 5-pitch walk to start the Gateman career of Jeff Shank. Jason DeLay is aboard to begin the 7th inning. That'll bring up Mike Garzillo. He's yet to put the ball in play tonight. 2 strikeouts, both swinging, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th.
A little bit more on the left-hander. Shank stands at 6'1", 185, coming off a freshman season at Butler, in which he was one of their starting pitchers. 5-6, led the team in innings pitched at 86 2/3. Also led the team in ERA, 3.12. What killed him, though, was allowing 6 home runs and a whip of 1.40. So he allowed his fair share of base runners.
First pitch misses outside. Garzillo thought about bunting, but he pulls it back. Kisner, the third baseman, had come in. Looked like they were going to try and go for the force play at second, or at least get the out at first. McKinnon stayed put. The 1-0 bunted in the air, fair territory. Stupensky catches it, and that's one way to get your first out. It's an F2 if you're keeping score at home. Garzillo retired, trying to bunt, but instead popping it up. That'll bring up Camden Duznak, 0 for 1 on the day, reached on a hit by pitch. his last time up. Delay's still at first. Not much of a threat to steal. 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts, but probably not the guy on this roster or in this lineup that you send in motion here, especially against a lefty Shank with an unknown pickoff move. First pitch to Duznak, an off-speed pitch, just misses outside, ball 1. One thing we do know about Shank is that he's out of Naperville, Illinois, which is just north of Northwestern University, home of Northwestern volleyball player Taylor Tashima. And I'm sure some other people. I've done a couple volleyball games, so try to do my homework on all the rosters.
It's definitely applicable to what's going on right now in this game.
Well, you want to talk more about the 3-run deficit?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Duznak ahead in the count 1-0. Shank with a side-winding throw over to first base and delays back safely. Kisner, the third baseman, was playing in with nobody out. Now with 1 down, the assumption is that Duznak is not going to drop a bunt down and he's playing back. 1-0, big swing and a miss. Had a pitch on the outside corner to even up the count at 1-1. Duznak wound up and swung for the fences there. The recoil sent him into the left-handed batter's box, and he does a loop behind the home plate umpire and Stupensky to reach the right-handed batter's box once more. Shanks 1-1, an off-speed pitch, misses high, and now 2-1. This is quite the situation for Shank to be thrust into. Making his first Cape League appearance, but it's a situation in which a couple of his teammates have thrived. Runner goes, the 2-1, swung on and missed. The throw down to second is well in time to get Jason DeLay, the second caught stealing on the ledger of Gavin Stupensky behind the plate tonight. And now 2 down, the bases are empty.
He's been exceptional, and you can see why Cooper Ferris really raves about his tools defensively as a catcher. Stupensky, not a hose like Kisner has, but still an above-average arm, as we've seen in this game, and exceptional framing and receiving abilities. He's really great for his pitching.
Shanks 2-2, just fouled out of the glove of Stupensky. The at-bat stays alive. Gatemen trying to keep this a 3-run game. The 2-2 is singed, just foul, down the third base line. Duznak got the barrel on it, something that doesn't happen too frequently if we're told correctly. But that one landing just about 1.5 feet foul in the outfield grass. As Duznak steps back in, Shank is already ready to deliver his 2-2 pitch. Here it is, off the end of the bat, and fair down the first base line. Duznak rounding first on his way to second. Jabs has a good arm. Here's the throw. It's a little bit offline, and it's going to be a 2-out double for Camden Duznak. After getting the barrel on a foul ball to the third base line, he hits one off somewhere that wasn't the barrel and doinks it down the first base line for a 2-out double.
So the caught stealing for Gavin Stupensky now looms large. This lead for Bourne could be at 4 runs had he not gunned down DeLay.
Nick Solak stepping in. 0 for 2 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, and a hit by pitch his first time up, and a fielder's choice in the 5th. First pitch breaking ball, bends over for a called strike, 0-1. Shank peers in for the sign. Stupensky's been an absolute rock behind home plate. The 0-1 swung on and missed, an inside fastball that Solak swung over the top of. And now Shank is one strike away from getting out of this inning. Here's Shank's 0-2, missing high and away, 1-2.
And Stupensky set up outside. Shank hit his spot. He's out of the strike zone to begin with, and coupled with the fact that it was high, really just a throwaway pitch, trying to see if Solak would chase.
We'll see if Shank now goes low and in. Breaking pitch, hit in the air, right center field. Back is jabs. He has it measured, and he puts it away a few feet in front of the warning track. The Braves get 2 base runners and a double, but do not score. It's time to stretch here at Spillane Field. The score is still 3-0, Bourne over Wareham on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts.
We hope you enjoyed your stretch. Now it's time to get back to baseball. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning at Spillane Field. 3-0, Bourne over Wareham. Eric Kramer joined by Jake Garcia. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for the Gatemen. Kramer, Robertson, Nick Sierra, and David McKinnon due up against Kyle Driscoll, who entered the game with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 5th inning, got out of that jam, then got in a bases-loaded jam of his own and struck out the side in a roundabout fashion. He still has not yet allowed a run. Robertson 0 for 2 on the day, reached twice, once on fielder's choice, most recently with a base on balls. First pitch swinging, hit in the air, foul right side. Back for a look is Delay, but he watches it land in the stands, strike 1. This is the first playoff game at Spillane Field since 2012, when the Gatemen won the Cape League Championship. Pretty good turnout here. Gatemen hope that these fans show up for more games this season, but if they lose tonight, their season is over. Fouled off right side again, and it's 0-2. The official attendance is 1,744.
A playoff-like atmosphere. It feels like there's 15,000 people here.
We'll go with that. Robertson steps back in the right-handed batter's box with a count 0-2. Driscoll bounces a breaking pitch in the dirt, taken by Robertson and stopped by Delay, and the count now 1-2.
For the Gatemen to get back here to Spillane, it's definitely a tall mountain to climb. They'd go on the road tomorrow against Bourne. If they were to win that.
1-2, hit in the air to center field. Back a few steps is Robson, but he has it measured. Robertson doesn't have that much pop in his bat. Out number 1. That'll bring up Nick Sierra.
And so to finish a point, if they were to win that game tomorrow at Bourne and then go on the road to Hyannis, that would mean they'd then come back to Spillane, regardless of what happened in that first game against Hyannis, since it's the best out of 3 series. But I think that what just happened just underscores the luxury of having video. I could have kept talking and explained my point with video telling the story, but since we don't have a video feed tonight, I had to be interrupted and let you call the action of the play.
Called strike to Nick Sierra. It's 0-1. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we haven't mentioned it in the past couple innings. Ball 1 misses outside to even up the count. But a lightning strike during a storm overnight wiped out about half our equipment. We tried to make a go of it with our video feed, but as I described to one of our concerned viewers, it's like fitting 4 lanes of traffic into 2 lanes. They just can't handle it for very long, and we didn't want to permanently damage anything. 1-1 misses outside. It's 2-1. Driscoll right back with another ball. Now 3-1 with McKinnon on deck. Driscoll, the 3-1 hit on in the air, left side, twisting foul out of play. Quite the chase going on for that stray foul ball over by Wareham Middle School. Driscoll's 3-2 is again fouled off left side, off the top of the dugout, I believe. Or did that go all the way back towards the school?
That hit the school. Watch your lips over there in foul territory. That was just a dart that had eyes on it. Fortunately, no one standing in front, and believe it bounced off the plexiglass windows of the school.
Well, Sierra will step back in with the count now full. Still full. Driscoll's payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Sierra strikes out swinging for the second time tonight, now 2 down. That'll leave things to David McKinnon here in the 7th.
First baseman, number 10, David McKinnon.
McKinnon 1 for 3. He was robbed of a base hit. A nice diving stop by the third baseman Camden Duznak back in the first. Then he grounded out to second with the bases loaded to end the 5th inning. First pitch, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. McKinnon, true to form, disagrees. I guess you would say if he thought it was a strike, he would have swung at it. Another called strike on the inner half, and McKinnon, perhaps subconsciously, perhaps consciously, wiping away the dirt on the inside corner. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Driscoll's offering, misses wide. That one's a ball. Now the count 1-2.
I think that may be a habit that McKinnon has to break as he goes on into upper levels of baseball.
Swung on and missed on a breaking pitch. It'll require a throw. Delay to McKay, and that does it. McKinnon strikes out, and the Gatemen go down 1-2-3 in their half of the 7th inning. We head to the 8th with the score still 3-0 Bourne on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the top of the 8th inning at Spillane Field with the Bourne Braves still leading the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 3-0. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. All 3 of those runs came in the top half of the 1st inning. A C.J. Chatham 3-run home run on a 3-0 pitch has created all the difference in this game. To the credit of the Gatemen pitching staff, though, Brett Hanowich and now Jeff Shank have combined to settle down quite nicely. Hanowich turned in a quality start, and Shank worked around a 2-out double to pitch a scoreless 7th inning. Now he's out for the 8th. He will face Jacob Robson, Brendan McKay, and Peter Alonso. Looking around the league, 2 games have gone final. Hyannis beat the Kettleers 9-5, so the Harbor Hawks will face the winner of this series in round 2 as ball 1 misses in the dirt to Robson. Robson 0 for 2 on the day. Fielder's choice, a walk and a run scored. Whitey Red Sox beat the Brewster Whitecaps 7-3 to pull off the upset. They will face the winner of the series that is currently in action in Chatham. The Anglers have a 1-0 lead over the Orleans Firebirds in the bottom of the 8th inning. Anglers need to win this game to stay alive. Should they hold on to their lead and win, it would go to a deciding Game 3 back in Orleans. 1-1 is a called strike on the inside corner.
The fact that Chatham is winning that game is pretty significant because if Bourne were to hold on tonight and Chatham were able to come away with a 1-0 win over Orleans, I'm 90% sure that would mean the rest of the league has an off day tomorrow while Orleans and Chatham duke it out in a Game 3.
Interesting. Very interesting. Breaking pitch misses wide, now 2-2 to Robson.
That's just done so the East and the West playoffs are being played simultaneously on the same days.
2-2 sounds like a broken bat. It's rolled on the ground to second. Robertson throws on to first. A high throw, but McKinnon keeps his foot on the bag, and he drops it, though it's after the transfer. So 1 batter, 1 out now for Jeff Shank in the 8th. That'll bring up Brendan McKay, 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a run scored.
Brendan McKay from Louisville.
McKay, a lefty, facing the lefty Shank for the first time today. Hanowich, tonight's starter for the Gatemen, was a right-handed pitcher. Big swing and a miss at a high fastball. It's 0-1.
Solak from Louisville, McKay from Louisville, Senzel, the MVP of this league, from Louisville.
Hit in the air, right field, routine for jabs. He drifts away, and he drops the ball. Kalika up with it, and he throws it back in. It's going to be a two-base error, a double, excuse me. Jay Jabs had that ball drift on him into right center field. There's going to be a runner at second and one down now for Peter Alonso.
It's a double in the scorebook, but put a star next to that one, or an asterisk, if you will. Jabs, instead of getting to the spot, racing there as quickly as possible to make the catch, he let the ball dictate where he was going. And as the ball kept tailing, he kept going and going and going, and his head bobbing, I'm sure, after having to take more steps than he probably needed to. That's what allows McKay to get to second.
Now with a runner in scoring position, Alonso at the plate, singled his last two times. Breaking pitch gets a called strike, it's 0-1. Bourne leads Wareham 3-0. We are in the top of the 8th inning. Shank to a set. Checking McKay at second. Here's the 0-1 to Alonso. Hit in the air, right field, shallow. Out is McKinnon, in is Jabs. It's the right fielder Jabs making the catch. No tag from McKay. He'll stay at second, 2 down. That'll leave things to C.J. Chatham, 1 for 3 on the day, but what a one it was. A long home run into the bleachers in left center field back in the first inning on a 3-0 pitch.
Yep, a no-doubter, and not sure if the people in left field are aware of the fact that he's the guy who hit the home run. But there are a good amount of people in left field, more so than we normally see at Spillane.
That home run accounting for all 3 runs in this game. First pitch is fouled off behind home plate.
And he was trying to make it 5-0 with that swing of the bat. Took a rip on the first offering from Shank. Unable to square it up, though.
Chatham back in the box, ready for the 0-1. Shank's windup and his delivery fouled off behind home plate. It's 0-2. Jeff Shank trying to complete his second shutout inning. For the second consecutive inning, he's dealing with a runner in scoring position. That's McKay at second. Here's the 0-2 to Chatham. Poked out to left field. It's going to drop. Warren up with it on a hop, but the run will score. McKay comes in from second. Now the throw to second. And there's a collision at second base. C.J. Chatham is out. Kramer Robertson held on to the ball. And Chatham is out after the run scores. So we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The score now 4-0 Bourne on WCTV and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning at Spillane Field. The Bourne Braves now lead the Wareham Gatemen by a score of 4-0. Eric Bramer joined by Jake Garcia. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Gatemen, due up against Kyle Driscoll, who for the first time in the 7th inning had a 1-2-3 inning. He had to pitch out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th, a bases-loaded jam in the 6th, escaped both unscathed, and now has a 4-run cushion to work with. It'll be Gavin Stupensky, Mark Karaviotis, and Charlie Warren. Stupensky coming into the game with a batting average above 300 in the regular season. First pitch swinging, sent in the air to deep center field. Robson back. He has it measured short of the track, and he puts it away out number 1. That ball is out in South Yarmouth, but here at Spillane Field, where it's 412 feet to center field, it's a routine out.
Yeah, the extreme depths of Spillane center field costs Stupensky extra bases and even a home run, like you said, in some ballparks. Third time tonight, though, that he struck the ball well. He'll be content with a 2-for-4 performance and a great effort behind the plate.
Jose Carrera is going to pinch hit for Mark Karaviotis, who had gone 0 for 3 on the day. Carrera still looking for his first hit with the Gatemen. He's come in mainly as a defensive replacement and a pinch hitter, a pinch runner. He takes a called strike, it's 0-1. Takes another called strike, and it's 0-2. Carrera, standing at 5'3", has a smaller strike zone than most, but Driscoll's found it twice. Here's the 0-2, fouled off behind home plate over the screen and out of play.
So now Carrera quickly behind 0-2 with his team trailing by 4. They're running out of outs. Only 4 of them left to go.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, a fastball outside of the zone, but Carrera chases it and he's the second out of the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring up Charlie Warren. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a single, strikeout, and a ground out. Trying to keep this inning, and by extension, the season alive. Gatemen have only 4 outs to work with. First pitch swinging, doinked opposite field. Tough play by the shortstop Chatham. He throws on to first. What a play by C.J. Chatham, making it look easy. Gatemen go down in order in the 8th inning, and we head to the top of the 9th with a score 4-0 Bourne over Wareham on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We head to the top of the 9th inning at Spillane Field. The Gatemen are on the verge of ending their season. They trail 4-0 to the Bourne Braves. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Braves against Jeff Shank, who to his credit has pitched pretty well, now entering his 3rd inning of work. He gave up an earned run in the 8th inning, but it was a gift double after Jay Jabs misread a ball and let it fall in right center. Corey Julks stepping in 0 for 3 on the day. Breaking pitch bends over for strike 1. That is decidedly not Corey Julks. It's going to be Jack Sundberg. Breaking pitch misses high, and the count even at 1-1. Julks had gone 0 for 3 on the day. Sundberg on the year, 250, making just his 5th at bat. 1 hit, it was a single. 1-1 is fouled off back to the screen. My broadcast partner Jake is having a tough time with this. Really emotional over the imminent end of the Gatemen season. Gatemen trying to keep it close for a rally in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-2 misses wide. It's now 2-2.
Decidedly not Corey Julks. That's the phrase of the year.
2-2 is fouled off behind home plate. Sundberg standing at 5'11", a left-handed batter, whereas Julks was a right-handed batter. That's what tipped me off. 2-2. High fastball got him. Sundberg retired for out number 1. That's the first strikeout of the career of Jeff Shank in the Cape League. We should also mention that Jose Carrera has taken the spot of Mark Caraviotis at short. Carrera pinch hit for Caraviotis. Mike Garzillo. Excuse me, that's Jason DeLay. And that's not a pinch hitter. I just misread my scorebook. DeLay fouls it off right side, strike 1. Second pitch is hit in the air, shallow right field towards the line. Jabs the right fielder, calls everyone else off, as he should, and he squeezes it quickly 2 down.
First time this season that we're witnessing Jose Carrera play shortstop for the Gatemen. On all other occasions, he's been slotted in at second base, either a defensive substitution for Kramer Robertson or just a pinch runner.
Mike Garzillo takes a called strike on the outside corner. Garzillo is 0 for 3. Hasn't gotten the ball past the pitcher's mound. 2 strikeouts and a bunt attempt that was caught by the catcher, Stupensky, in front of home plate. Ball 1 misses inside, almost clips the wrist of Garzillo, and that makes the count even. Shanks 1-1 is hit in the air, center field. Kalika a few steps in, now a few steps back, staring into the night sky. He squeezes it, and that does it for the Bourne Braves in the top half of the 9th inning. The Wareham Gatemen have 3 outs to save their season. We will see what happens when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. The Gatemen have 3 outs to save their season. Their chances are sinking fast. It'll be 8-9-1 due up against the closer for the Bourne Braves, Austin Conway. It's not a save situation because it's a 4-run lead. But they brought in their guy, and there's a good reason that Conway's their guy. 1-1 on the year, has not given up an earned run. 10 saves, making his 16th appearance. 19 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, only 5 walks and 8 hits. The Gatemen did come close against him, but as good pitchers do, he prevailed. That was back on Saturday.
And even more impressive for Conway this season, he's only allowed 2 runners in his now 19 innings of work to reach second base. Only 2 runners in scoring position. And I guess that's what you can attribute his success to. That and the fact that he's also only allowed 8 hits, a sub-1 whip.
Andrew Kisner's done his part tonight, 2 for 3 with a single and a double. First pitch misses high, ball 1. A called strike at the knees to even up the count. Kisner then, it's Jay Jabs' spot on deck, but it's Logan Sowers standing in the on-deck circle. Sowers has not really played a whole lot in the last week or so since he won the Home Run Derby in advance of the All-Star game last Saturday. Kisner takes low 2-1. Jay Jabs' spot was originally occupied by Connor Beck. Jabs struck out swinging with the bases loaded back in the 6th. The 2-1 fouled off right side, twisting foul out of play.
Kisner still putting together despite the 4-run deficit. Very good at bat, showcasing some violent swings, and that's exactly what you want to see out of your guys if you're Cooper Ferris. Down by 4 in the 9th, still trying to be competitive.
2-2. Kisner just gets a piece and flips it back to the screen. Count remains 2-2. If you're looking for silver linings, and we certainly are, Kisner's resurgence in the past couple weeks is definitely something to feel good about, both for him and for his coaching staff. Got the batting average up into the mid-200s, and he's been stinging the ball even in the outs. 2-2, rolled on the ground to short. Well struck, but Chatham has it. He throws on to first, 1 down. Jack Sundberg is in left field. He pinch hit for Corey Julks. In right field. So that means that Solak is presumably in left. Number 2.
Which is Solak.
Solak. Okay, that makes sense. So Sundberg in right and Solak in left.
And Logan Sowers, the pinch hitter.
Sowers batted .174 in the regular season. 16 hits and 34 strikeouts. That was his big nemesis. Having trouble putting the ball in play and making contact. When he did hit it, though, he hit it a long ways. He had 1 home run on the first week of the season, as he takes ball 1 there. And though he did not hit any more in regulation play, he impressed at the Fenway workout and won the Home Run Derby last Saturday. Called strike evens up the count at 1-1. The 1-1 misses the inside corner, and now the count 2-1. The Gatemen had left a runner on, at least 1 runner on, in each of the first 6 innings, including leaving the bases loaded in the 5th and 6th. At that time, the score was still 3-0. So they missed their chance, and now they're paying the price. Called strike. That brings the count to 2-2 to Sowers. The score is 4-0 now. Bourne Braves are 2 outs away from advancing in the Cape League playoffs and eliminating the Wareham Gatemen. Conway's 2-2, a half swing, strike 3 looking. So Sowers strikes out in his presumably only playoff at-bat, and that'll leave things to Andrew Kalika, the batting champion. He reached base twice today, 1 for 3, but his last 2 times he struck out, including a big one with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 6th inning. That was probably the best chance the Gatemen had to get back in this game.
Yeah, and Bourne would love nothing more than to end Wareham's season by getting Kalika out. Before this game, honored with the Thurman Munson Award, going to the top batting average guy in the Cape League, receiving that award, and that was a good scene, but of course not much having to do with Bourne. And So to get him out to end Wareham season, definitely an accomplishment.
1-0 misses just outside, now 2-0. The 2-0, flip foul left side out of play. The crowd somewhat muted, subdued. Primarily a Wareham-leaning crowd, but I'm sure a few Bourne Braves fans making the trip over the bridge, hoping to see their team advance in the playoffs. Time is called at home plate with the count 2-1.
Don't forget that back in 2012, an improbable comeback was staged at Red Wilson Field in YD.
You just never know. The 2-1 misses inside, almost hits the jersey of Kalika, but misses. And now the count 3-1. Kramer Robertson waits on deck.
Not sure the exact specifics of that game, but something like a total of 4 home runs hit in the 9th inning to allow the Gatemen to come back and win the championship that year.
Conway's 3-1 to Kalika, again fouled off left side out of play. Seems like we've seen more of those from Kalika today. Last night had an offer, a very rare offer. Trying to fight it and keep this game and the season alive for the Gatemen. Payoff pitch. Chopped on the ground, weakly towards short. Chatham has it. Charging, throwing. And that does it. The Bourne Braves advance to the next round of the Cape League playoffs. They will play Hyannis in round 2. And the season ends for the Wareham Gatemen. They are swept out of round 1 by the Bourne Braves. The final score, 4-0, Bourne over Wareham. I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of our listeners and viewers who have stuck with us through a sometimes disappointing, sometimes enriching season. We had our highs and lows, ultimately culminating in a playoff berth, which I think if you had told us at the beginning of the season, we would have been pretty satisfied. Gatemen, looking upon this season in retrospect, got their first playoff berth since 2012 when they won the championship, and though it comes up a bit short, still a very, very memorable season because of a lot of great individual performances. Gatemen had 7 All-Stars, Andrew Kalika winning the batting title, Ian Hamilton coming close to the ERA title, lots of standout stars.
Yeah, I'd like to take the time to reflect and say the exact same thing, echo your sentiment. Thanks so much for listening to us all year long. Like you said, a season of highs and lows. The walk-off suicide squeeze from Preston Grand Prix comes to my mind. And like you said, the All-Star game being held here at Spillane. A lot of these guys making memories this summer that they certainly will never forget. And I think it's safe to say that we experienced the exact same thing. Great to get to know this team, and for them in the future, wishing them nothing but the best of luck. And perhaps we will see them again next summer in Wareham.
Yes. All these players come to the Cape to get better, and so do the broadcasters. And I think it's safe to say that both of us have refined our craft, if not just a little bit. And I think it's safe to say that everyone here in the WCTV production area had a great time this summer. Sad to see the season end, but looking forward to seeing these careers of all these players advance into the minor leagues and hopefully the major leagues. Not sure what we're going to do for post-game tonight, post-mortem maybe, but the Gatemen end their season with a 4-0 defeat to the hands of the Bourne Braves. We will sign off from Ustream for the last time this season. For my broadcast partner Jake Garcia, our field reporter Megan O'Brien, everyone in the Wareham Gatemen organization, Wareham Community Television, I'm Eric Bramer signing off from Spillane Field. The final score, 4-0 Bourne over Wareham.